this point, it's over. That whole Sky Barbie thing, that thing is over. Angel Reese is done in Chicago. They're going to move on. They have to. With what Courtney Vandersloot just came back and said, Courtney Vandersloot just smoked Angel Reese. And you know who else is going in on Angel Reese? You got Nightcap with Unc and Ocho, Shannon Sharp and Chad Johnson going in on this Angel Reese situation. She didn't think it was going to go this way.
If you're going to go at a legend, you better not miss. As we know, Angel Reese come out this week. She absolutely crushed her own teammates into the dust, and she even decided to go after a legend, the legendary Courtney Vandersloot, who, of course, blew out her ACL at the beginning of the season, and she is in the midst of making a comeback. And, of course, Angel Reese made some comments that were none too kind to a legend. Angel Reese will be lucky if she has a third of the career.
Courtney Vandersloot just sent a message, and let's be honest, it was exactly subtle. When a 5-time All-Star and 2-time champion claps back at Angel Reese, that says one thing loud and clear. The young star is spiraling out of control. The Chicago Sky locker room isn't just divided, it's cracking wide open. So, here's the real question. Is Angel Reese torching relationships faster than she can build them? From her LSU controversies to her rocky WNBA entrance, Rhea's lived off the chaos. But now that chaos is starting to wear thin, because here's the truth. If you're going to take shots at a legend like Courtney Vandersloot, you'd better make it count. And Rhea, she missed badly.
Angel will not have the career that Courtney Vandersloot has had. She won't. You know why? Because I don't think the league's going to tolerate her long enough. She's going to run her mouth until she just ends up jumping from team to team until she does what I think she should do right now.
Courtney Vandersloot isn't just another name on the roster. She's a 5-time All-Star, 7-time assist leader, and a 2-time WNBA champion. Her career resume speaks louder than any Instagram post or sideline antics ever could. And yet, Angel Reese decided to take shots, questioning Vandersloot's age, her durability, and whether the Sky can really count on her. That's not playful banter. That's a direct slap at one of the most respected veterans in the league. But here's the bigger question. Why would Reese even go there? She's barely wrapped up her second year as a pro. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, her rival in the league's biggest draw, is already solidifying herself as the face of a franchise in Indiana. Reese, she's busy creating tension in her own locker room. That's not how leaders are made.
I don't know, Angel Reese. This is what Courtney Vandersloot had to say. She's firing off. Angel Reese, you got her twisted. She said, contrary to what people think, what people say or think, my age is actually not a factor. I am coming back. This is after Angel Reese said, yeah, Sloot is old. We need somebody young that can do this, that got some experience, but we need somebody young. She's too old. I don't know if she can come back from that torn ACL.
Courtney Vandersloot wasn't asking for pity. After tearing her ACL, she was locked and on the grind. Rehab sessions, workouts, interviews, where she made it clear her mission was to come back stronger than ever. The last thing she needed was a teammate supposedly on her side, hinting she's washed. But that's exactly what Angel Reese did. And here's the kicker. She didn't just keep it in the locker room. She said it out loud in an interview for everyone to hear. That's the kind of move that makes veterans roll their eyes. Disagreements behind closed doors, normal. Frustration after a loss, understandable. But blasting your own teammate in public, that's a trust killer. Rhea practically told the basketball world that Courtney Vandersloot was too old and unreliable. And that's why Vandersloot's response hit like a hammer. Asked about her future, she didn't hesitate. Contrary to what people say or think, my age is not a factor. I'm coming back better than ever. No shade, no cryptic tweet, just a direct shot saying, don't question my game, don't question my age, and don't question my career. Here's the reality check. Courtney Vandersloot has already built her legacy. Angel Reese is still trying to build hers. And instead of focusing on growth, she's swinging at a player whose accomplishments she hasn't even come close to. Vandersloot owns more championships than Reese has. Playoff wins. That's not hype. That's the truth.
I mean, it's crazy. It is crazy, but it shouldn't shock me coming from this fan base at all. Oh, but she's on video now, and she's made a direct shot. Courtney has answered the shot from Angel Reese. And I got to be honest with you. How much here I'm going to speculate out loud. How much shit was Angel Reese talking in that Chicago Sky locker room last year around Kennedy Carter about Caitlin Clark? All right? Think about that a minute. The influence there. I got to tell you, I don't think it was Kennedy Carter that blew that locker room up. I think it was Angel Reese.
Talking in that Chicago Sky locker room last year around Kennedy Carter about Caitlin Clark? All right. Think about that a minute. The influence there. I got to tell you, I don't think it was Kennedy Carter that blew that locker room up. I think it was Angel Reese. On the other side, Caitlin Clark, the very player Angel Reese is constantly measured against, is handling her sophomore season with an entirely different mindset. Clark takes the hits, absorbs the fouls, and deals with being targeted night after night. But here's what you don't see. She's not throwing teammates under the bus. She's not questioning whether veterans can still be trusted. Instead, she's laser focused on pushing Indiana forward, no matter the obstacles. That's the difference. One is noise and marketing hype. The other is real franchise leadership.
Who wasn't going for it? And I'm going to tell you right now, Courtney Vandersloot has won a title in Chicago, and she will not be playing with Angel Reese next year. I'm going to tell you that right now. Angel Reese is good as gone.
And then there's the suspension fiasco. The cherry on top of Angel Reese's chaos bench for a single half. That's not discipline. That's a punchline. What the Chicago Sky basically told the league was, we can't control our star, so we'll sit her for 20 minutes and hope she straightens out. Nobody respects that. Not the players, not the media, not even the fans. And that's where Courtney Vandersloot's response cuts so deep. She didn't just call Reese out. She reminded everyone what professionalism actually looks like. A veteran who's battled through injuries, earned championships, and still speaks with focus and poise versus a young player whose words are racing ahead of her game. The contrast couldn't be more glaring. Now, let's talk about the fan bases. Reese's supporters online. Brutal. They attacked Vandersloot personally, mocking her, dismissing her resume, tearing her down at every turn. It was ugly. And here's the thing that reflects on Reese herself. Whether she likes it or not, your fan base becomes part of your brand. Caitlin Clark supporters build her up. Reese's, they tear others down. That says everything. Vandersloot doesn't need Twitter beefs or flashy Instagram clips to prove her worth. Her career already does the talking, and that's why her comeback message hits so hard. She didn't rant. She didn't whine. She simply stated the truth. She's not done. Her age is a problem, and she's coming back stronger. Meanwhile, Reese looks like the one stirring drama out of thin air. And here's the real irony. Reese keeps saying she wants better teammates, wants to win championships, wants to lift Chicago. But who's going to sign with a team where the supposed star forward is disrespecting veterans and throwing shade at legends? Free agents notice this stuff. Why would any top player walk into a locker room that feels like reality TV? The Sky front office doesn't escape blame either. That half-game suspension screamed weakness. Either back your player or hold her accountable. You can't do both. Instead, management looks spineless, the coach looks powerless, and the team looks lost. Add Reese's drama on top, and what you've got is a recipe for a wasted season. And let's be honest, Angel Reese is no Caitlin Clark when it comes to leadership, production, and professionalism. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese couldn't be further apart. Clark has already established herself as the face of a franchise and one of the league's driving forces. Reese, on the other hand, is still struggling to figure out how not to alienate her own teammates before the season is even over. Does Reese have talent? No doubt. She's a rebounding machine. She plays with fire, and she battles on every possession. That kind of effort has real value. But the WNBA is a results-driven league. If your baggage starts to outweigh your contributions, franchises won't hesitate to cut ties. And right now, Rhea is walking that line dangerously close. Her suspension wasn't just questionable. It exposed a bigger problem. A half-aim benching. That's not discipline. That's a high school punishment dressed up for pros. It showed exactly where the Chicago guys stand. Desperate to keep Reese on the court because she sells tickets, but pretending they're holding her accountable as the locker room crumbles around her. That's not leadership. That's weakness. Meanwhile, Courtney Vandersloot has been showing real leadership for over a decade. You don't win 7 assist titles by accident. You don't earn championships by luck. That takes consistency, accountability, and professionalism. When her ACL tore, she didn't whine, didn't point fingers, didn't take shots at teammates. She got to work, and now she's grinding her way back to the floor. That's what leadership looks like. And here's where Rhea is falling short. Instead of learning from veterans like Vandersloot, she seems more concerned with controlling the narrative through her comments, her fan base's online attacks, or her constant on-court theatrics. Too often, it's about Angel Reese, the brand, not Angel Reese, the player. And when you're only in your second year with 0 playoff success, that imbalance looks bad. Clark, in contrast, has been dealing with brutal fouls, nonstop targeting, and constant criticism from opponents, the media, and even former stars. But her response: focus on the game, focus on her teammates, keep moving forward. She's not flawless. Nobody is. But she understands that true leadership shows up in how you carry yourself when the pressure is highest. Rhea hasn't shown that yet. And her recent comments about Courtney Vandersloot being too old, that wasn't just careless. It was flat-out disrespectful. Vandersloot has proved her worth year after year. Even now, she brings vision, experience, and leadership that younger players can't match. To dismiss that isn't just inaccurate. It's an insult to what veterans mean to the game. Angel Reese might think she's just being real, but what she's really showing is her immaturity. Look at the message she's sending. If you're a veteran considering signing with Chicago and you hear the team's young star openly dismissing older players, are you really joining that locker room? Probably not. That's how trust error it is. And once trust is gone, winning becomes impossible. Courtney Vandersloot's response wasn't flashy. It didn't need to be. It was calm, confident, and backed by a resume that speaks for itself. That's why her words carried weight, because she's earned the right to be heard. Rhea hasn't. When Vandersloot says she's coming back stronger, people believe her. When Rhea talks about needing better teammates, people roll their eyes. That's the credibility gap Rhea is stuck in, and closing it will take years, not weeks. The fan reaction only made the contrast sharper. Vandersloot supporters respect her legacy and want to see her succeed. Reese's fans, they go after anyone who criticizes her, dragging conversations into the mud with insults and personal attacks. And whether Rhea admits it or not, that energy reflects on her. Build your brand on conflict, and your fan base will mirror that same chaos. It's no surprise Rhea keeps getting compared to Draymond Green. The technical fouls, the confrontations, the suspensions, it's the same script. But here's the problem. Draymond has 4 NBA titles to justify the antics. Rhea doesn't. Without wins, it doesn't look like passion. It looks like immaturity. And let's zoom out to the bigger picture. The WNBA is finally gaining traction. Bigger crowds, more coverage, real momentum. At the center of that surge is Caitlin Clark. She's the magnet pulling the league forward. Reese benefits from that spotlight, but instead of using it to elevate the game, she's creating headlines for all the wrong reasons. The league doesn't need distractions. It needs stability. That's why Vandersloot's decision to respond was so calculated. She didn't have to defend herself, but she knew silence could be twisted. By speaking directly, she shut down speculation and proved she's not intimidated by younger players trying to push her aside. It was a reminder that veterans who carry themselves with class still define what this league values. Meanwhile, Rhea is flirting with disaster. Keep this up, and she risks alienating not just her teammates, but the WNBA itself. And if that happens, her career could end up like so many before her, bouncing from roster to roster until there's no place left to land. That's not a prediction. It's a warning. You can't pick fights with everyone and expect to succeed. Eventually, the game itself has to speak louder than the drama. And this brings us back to the Caitlin Clark comparison one final time. Both she and Angel Reese are in their second year. But the way they're viewed night and day, Clark is seen as the future of the league, the kind of player who can carry a franchise and pack arenas. Reese, meanwhile, is seen as a polarizing figure making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Both are gifted, but only one is positioning herself for long-term success. Now, the Chicago Sky are staring at a major decision. Do they keep catering to Reese, hoping she grows into the star they imagine, or do they cut their losses and move her before her value crashes completely? Courtney Vandersloot's response made that question louder. Because if Reese can't even respect legends like Vandersloot, why should anyone believe she'll respect her teammates, the league, or even the game itself? And that's why this whole saga matters. It's not just about one suspension or one careless comment. It's about culture, about the direction of a franchise, and about the future of a player who could either become a cornerstone or a cautionary tale. Vandersloot didn't just put Angel Reese in check. She sent a message. That respect is something you earn, not something you demand. Legends don't take cheap shots quietly. Reese may think she was speaking her truth, but all she really showed was her immaturity. So now it's your turn. Can Angel Reese bounce back from this storm, or is she already spiraling out of control? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.